All right, so today I wanted to talk about this thing that Zuby Music points out here, and it's a very, very good point, and I think it explains a lot of why we're in the mess that we're currently in, and it's something I brought up a lot before. So anyway, he says incompetence and malice are often indistinguishable, and sometimes the difference doesn't matter because they lead to the same result. So I'm not going to be able to go too deep into the woods here because YouTube will probably ban me if I do. So um, if you want to hear a more uncensored version of this stuff, just go watch the videos on Rumble, BitChute, the early videos. Um, but again, when it comes to this stuff too, when we're in the whole situation we're in, the C word situation, um, this is what I brought up the entire time, that the people that are running things are either incompetent or they have bad intentions. And I've been I at no point have I been proven wrong on this stuff. Simply because the people that are running things are either so incompetent that someone like me with no medical expertise whatsoever would have made better recommendations than they did, right? And I'll give you some people say, "Oh, you're not a doc." No, that doesn't matter, right? And that the first thing would be, well, I was saying over a year ago that why are we not closing the borders, right? Now we got to have the borders closed so tight. Well, unless it's for unless they can use it to bring in people that are going to vote for the liberals, I guess. That's aside from that. Again, the border needs to stay wide open, right? But again, aside from that, yeah, the border's got to stay closed, right? So same thing goes for masks too. When Fauci and Tam told us, "Oh, don't wear masks," I kind of questioned that. Now, again, the data clearly shows now that yeah, masks don't make a difference. But again, at the time, they were wrong on that one, and they even admitted they were wrong about that. And then we've been forced to wear masks for almost a year now. So again, like not to mention too, I questioned the death rate. I said, yeah, that before this is all said and done, and I was saying this like a year ago too, like long before the data actually showed it. Yeah, the death rate's going to be comparable to the flu. Sure enough, it's comparable to the flu. And again, that's not my opinion. That is according to a Stanford study, so YouTube don't get mad at that. Um, what else? I mean, social distancing is pseudoscience. Again, that's an MIT study for if anyone's wondering. Again, I've made a video on that. The CDC also said, yeah, catching it on surfaces is a 1 in 10,000 chance. So again, pretty much everything that has came out has downplayed the severity of this, not only to some degree, but to a very large degree. But wouldn't you know it, we're still as locked down as we've ever been, at least in Canada. So again, the people that are running things are either so incompetent that again they have no business running a lemonade stand, let alone a government, or there's malice. Now, here's the thing. I think that personally, I think that when it comes to figuring out who's in which group, the everyday person, it's just they're ignorant. They have no idea what they're talking about, right? But when it comes to politicians, they clearly have malice. Now, here's the thing. Like, let's take someone like Jason Kenney. It's possible that he's just blindly going along with everything that Dr. Hinshaw and whoever the other quack doctors they're listening to are telling him. That's quite possible. But personally, I don't think it's possible. I mean, it is possible, but I would like to think that the person running our province is competent enough to do some of their own research into this stuff. Like, I would love to think that. And you would think that, no matter whether you disagree with them or not. Like, same goes for Justin Trudeau, right? I would love to think that Justin Trudeau has done some of his own research into this stuff. Like, there's no way they haven't, unless they're operating off malice, which I think is the obvious situation here. Like I say, it is possible that the UN and the WHO are giving marching orders to Tam, who's giving marching orders to Hinshaw, who's giving marching orders to Kenny. That's possible. But the more likely scenario is malice, right? Simply because, I mean, what does Jason Kenney have to gain personally? I mean, he doesn't have anything to gain politically, but he clearly stands to gain if he's a globalist, right? If he's a globalist, or whatever synonyms you want to use for that, he clearly has a lot to gain from this. But that would imply that he's operating off malice. So I think the reality here is that these politicians who are supporting lockdowns, they're clearly operating off malice, right? Clearly. I mean, you take Doug Ford. I mean, his net worth has gone way. Same goes for Jason Kenney too. These guys' net worth has gone way up over the last year. Why is that? Clearly, they're getting kickbacks in one way or another, right? Again, these are the same people that are always worried about like corporate corruption and cronyism, right? Like, and then not to mention, dude, this has been the death of the idiot leftist complaining about corporations and corporate greed and all this stuff. Like, the year that corporations made the most amount of profits, the year billionaires got as rich as they've ever gotten over a year-to-year basis, they're completely silent over it. Well, I mean, they're not completely silent, but if they bring it up, it's just an excuse to push socialism, right? They'll never acknowledge that they supported the events that led to them gaining so much wealth, right? The idiot leftists and socialists will never acknowledge that they supported the events that led to these big corporations gaining so much more power, right? And why is that? Is because they support it, right? And this is the reason why. Again, they're complete zealots, right? These socialist types. And again, people say, oh, that's rude. Well, no, that's not rude if it's true. And that um, they only care about corporate corruption and billionaires getting unjustly rich when it doesn't benefit them politically, right? Because again, like look at these billionaires that push the woke stuff. Look at the big corporations that push the woke stuff. Are they calling them out now? Like, are they calling, like, again, Nike has their sweatshops in Asia, but they're pushing woke stuff, so they don't care. Coke, same thing. Like, they're pushing woke stuff, so they don't care. Um, so again, like, if they were just honest with that, like, I would respect them when I would stop calling them zealots if they were honest about that, but they're not. So I'm going to keep doing it because again, it's calling someone a mean name when it's true is, well, that's life. Like, deal with it. And stop lying to people too. Like, if you just stop lying to people, like, and this is the thing too. People say, oh, you just hate them because you disagree with them politically. No, like, if I'm having a debate with a communist who says, yeah, I want to throw you in a gulag, I'm not going to call them a zealot because they're being honest, right? I mean, they're still kind of a zealot in the way that they want to throw political dissidents in gulags, but at least they're being honest, right? When it comes to lockdowns, if they actually told us, yeah, I mean, we're going to keep moving the goalposts to justify lockdowns until eternity, okay, at least I can respect them on that. But this, like Jason Kenney, oh yeah, um, we're all sick of this. We all want to. No, we don't all want a normal life. We're not all sick of this. Clearly there's a very large percent of the population that isn't sick of it, because if everybody was sick of it, we would be back to normal. We would have been back to normal for almost a year now, or even a year now, right? So again, like, the point is very good because, again, whenever you point this kind of stuff out, people oftentimes try and defend it. Oh, they're incompetent, or they have malicious intentions. Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because if it leads to the same outcome, who cares? Like, who cares? So I think that it's not as important for trying to figure out what people's intentions are, rather simply pointing out, here's what happens or happened because of what this person wanted to do, right? So anyway, like I said, this is very important because I think this situation is the big debate right now. I think is that, are the people running things incompetent, or do they have malicious intentions, right? Personally, I think it's the people running things have malicious intentions. The people, the people that are, support the everyday people, they're just incompetent. For the simple fact that, again, I'll give you another example of this, is that when Jason Kenney put out his "Why can't we be like Texas" tweet and video, he was clearly lying. Like, there, and I'll tell you why. Is that he made two things that are demonstrably false. He said two. Well, one that's demonstrably false. One that's very, very misleading, I think, is a better way of putting it. The thing that's demonstrably false that he said is that Texas is back to normal because of the amount of people they have vaccinated. And that's demonstrably false because Texas, when they reopened, has a much lower per capita amount of people vaccinated than we do right now. In fact, they were less than half. Less than half. So he's clearly lying about that, because if Texas is back to normal with less than half the people vaccinated than we are, why can't we? There's no logical justification for that. And the other one he said is, oh, they had more people infected, which is true, but it's very misleading in the fact that even if we had the same amount of people vaccinated, we wouldn't be back to normal. Like, everybody and their dog knows we'd still have lockdowns. And the idea that, oh, they had more people infected, they're admitting that herd immunity is the key. And at no point have they said, yeah, we're going for herd immunity. Like, at no point have they said that, when that's clearly what you should be doing. What you should be doing is um, having some restrictions when it comes to the people that are at risk. But aside from that, you let people have a normal life and it'll run its course and you'll be fine. Hospitals won't be overwhelmed. There's no discernible difference. So anyway, that is what I wanted to bring up today. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you check out those links below. Like I say, if you're just watching on YouTube, you're missing half my content and the best content. So check out Rumble and BitChute as well. If you want to donate, you could do that as well. Again, I would very much appreciate whatever support I can get. But like I say, check out those links and stay tuned for more.